Okay, hi everyone. First and foremost, I hope you're all safe and well. Thanks to all of you that got back with regards to my last video. We're doing great here. I'm glad you all found the video useful. I'm sorry if it took me a day or two longer to get back to you. I'm looking after Noah basically Monday to Thursday, so it just takes up my time a little bit more, but I do read all the emails and WhatsApps and messages, and I will get back to you. Just apologies if it takes a day or two longer than normal. Okay, so how do we make our practice more efficient? That's what we're dealing with today. We have got a limited amount of time maybe at the moment, or a limited space, or certainly when you get back to playing golf, your time might be limited because of work and family and friends and things like that. How do we make sure the time you have to play and practice is as efficient as possible? Well, at the start of most lessons I give, I ask the question, why have you come to see me? What is it that you would like to work on? More often than not, the answer is that I want to be more consistent. I want to be more consistent. Well, consistent can mean a lot of different things. So then I'd have to ask a few more questions, and it generally boils down to, it might be a curvature issue. You might be curving the ball a bit much to the right or to the left. You might have an issue with your strike. You might hit the ground before the ball, or top it, or not quite hit it out of the middle of the golf club. Or the issue might be a distance kind of issue. Either you don't hit it far enough, or you can't quite control that distance well enough. And that's now getting a bit more to the point of what you want to work on. So next time you're kind of really thinking about how to make your time more efficient, I want you to think about what the number one kind of issue with your ball flight is, whether that's in the long game, the chipping, pitching, putting. What is that problem? And be very specific with that problem. Try and identify one thing. From there, what would the solution be? As an example, if you curve the ball too much to the right, a solution might be that you want to reduce that curvature, either curve it less or hit it straighter, or even draw it a little bit. Once you know where you are, the issue, and once you know where you want to get to, your goal, all of a sudden you can begin to kind of work in the most efficient way of kind of getting to your goal. There is a wealth of knowledge out on the internet at the moment. There are a lot of golf pros putting a lot of very good information out there. Your job is to make sure that the information you choose to read and take in or watch is actually applicable to you, and by working out what the problem is and where you want to get to, you can start to do that. The question you need to ask yourself is this video I'm watching or article I'm reading, is that applicable to me and my issue? If it isn't, then you can read it and things like that, but I wouldn't act on it, because it's not going to help you get to where you need to get to as efficiently as possible. You need to ask yourself, if the changes that you're going to make to your swing, A, do they make sense, and B, will they improve your ball flight? Generally speaking, if you've got a curvature issue, the first place I'd start looking at is drills, things that we're going to sort out your club face. Obviously there's an issue with your club face alignment at impact. It's not quite in the right place. If your ball is curving to the right too much, the face is probably facing to the right too much, and we need to kind of fix that. If you've got an issue with your strike, it might well be, and you're hitting the ground, say, a bit before the ball, it's an issue with the angle that the club is approaching the ball on, and that's the kind of drills I'd be looking, or videos I'd be looking there. And if you've got an issue with, say, you're not hitting the ball quite far enough, we either need to get you hitting the ball a bit more out the centre of the club face consistently, or we need to get the whole swing kind of moving a bit quicker, and ideally both, and that's when you start to hit the ball a bit further. Be careful of those kind of tips and advice that get handed down from golfer to golfer from your mates. I promise you that keeping your eye on the ball more won't reduce the curvature in your shot, and I promise you that keeping your head down for longer won't stop you hitting the ground before the ball, or stop you topping it. In fact, it'll probably make the problem worse. And generally, it's not logical that swinging the club slower should help you hit the ball further. That just doesn't make sense, does it? And yet they're the probably common three things that I hear from people, along with left arm straight and all sorts of other things that really don't make sense in terms of improving your ball flight. So be careful of those. Work with your coach, whoever that is. If that's me, great, work with me. You've got to ask yourself, do these changes I am making, are they actually going to help improve my ball flight to where I want it to get it? once you know where you want to get to, you should pick 1 or 2 drills maximum. So if you haven't spoken to me yet, what your 1 or 2 drills that I want you to work on, do that. If you're kind of getting tips on the internet, things like that, pick 1 or 2 that are very specific to you, that are going to help you achieve those goals. Everything else is not going to be helpful. This whole thing reminds me of a book that I read that I really would recommend to you. It's called Will It Make the Boat Go Faster? Based on the premise of the men's GB rowing team going from, I think, finishing 7th in the World Championships and their journey to then making gold at the Sydney Olympics. The premise would be that they were making changes. They had to kind of strip back everything and make changes because they were underperforming effectively. And with each change they made, either to their training or their technique, they asked the question, will it make the boat go faster? If the answer was yes, they did it, they implemented it. If the answer was no, they didn't. And it was a great way of them kind of sorting the wheat from the chaff, making sure all of their practice and their training was as efficient as possible. You have to ask yourself that question, will it make your boat go faster? Will this change I'm making actually improve the shot that I want to hit? If the answer is no, it's just a vanity project, you don't need to do it. It's not going to help you get to where you want to get to as effectively and as efficiently as possible. Look, I hope that makes sense. Please ask any questions either via social channels, WhatsApp, email. I do read them all. It will be great to help you out as much as possible with your practice. Stay safe, stay well, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. All right, thanks a lot.